Welcome to the X's and Argos film session for Week 4, Game 3 of the Toronto Argonauts CFL season. My name is Ben Grant. Today we're going to look at the most polarizing player on Toronto's roster, McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Personally, I am never going to understand the anger that I see directed towards him from some fans. I do understand the frustration part of it. But that said, I also see his brilliance and his tremendous talent, which I think is what has kind of created this divide in the fan base. He's definitely the most fascinating Argonaut to talk to, my favorite guy to get in an interview. He's always got an interesting book on the go, and so I felt it was only appropriate that we name this film session after the classic literary work. So I give you Dr. McJekyll and Mr. Hyde-Thompson. It's almost always a good sign when Dr. McJekyll opens the game, and that's what we got on Monday against Winnipeg. So Winnipeg, they open with a cover 3 hold to the field side. Brandon Banks, who you see here, he's got a deep out route. It might actually be a corner that he runs sort of fat away from coverage. So McLeod delivers a beautiful sideline ball, perfect timing. Banks just can't hang on to this one. Great read from MBT, great adjustment, great timing, great throw. And it's just bad luck that Banks loses focus for a second. Now, the next play, this is where Mr. Hyde-Thompson first shows his face. You never want to show a cornerback the same route on back-to-back plays, unless you're trying to set something up and the purpose of it is to get him to bite on a double move or something like that. But that's not what's going on here, and especially with a gifted ball hawk like Winston Rose. So this isn't the exact same route, but it's another outbreaking pattern. So Rose is playing off. And now, in a vacuum, this isn't a bad read with him playing off this far, but having just thrown an out and knowing it's Rose, it would have to be just a perfectly timed ball. It would have to be a rocket too, and it isn't either of those things. McLeod does a little crow hop before throwing. The ball's behind, and that delay costs him. Rose, he cuts in front. It's a quick 6 for the Bombers. You always have to be careful throwing out routes in the CFL, because if they're a split second off or if the corner anticipates the throw, then 100% it's going the other way and there's nothing you can do to stop it. There's no one back there. It's the most dangerous route on the route tree. Bethel-Thompson lets go of the ball on the 27-yard line. It's picked off here at the 47. Knowing how far away the far hash is, it's 37 yards from the sideline, we can actually do a little bit of hypotenuse calculation here to figure out that the ball travels about 42 yards in the air. Think about this for a second. A 42-yard throw to Banks. That is a ridiculous distance for what is a 12-yard pass. You can't throw this ball under these circumstances. It travels too far. You need to be so far open to complete this pass, and the pass has to be perfect. The very next drive, 2nd and 7. The snap comes in a little hot. This one's on McLeod, not on Justin Lawrence. It's a fast snap. It's a hard one to grab, but that's the quarterback's job. He does a great job to recover the ball, but this is where Dr. McJekyll would fire it out of bounds and live to fight another day. That's what he should do, especially given how well the defense was playing to start the game. But Mr. Hyde-Thompson wants to make a play and maybe make up for his earlier mistake. This is just a terrible gamble. The only time you ever make this throw is if it's on 3rd down. Otherwise, you've just got to cut your losses and punt the ball away. He's off his back foot. Taylor goes up and gets it. Now, after that, we only saw Mr. Hyde-Thompson one more time the entire game, and it was on a touchdown pass, so obviously that worked out. The rest of the game is Dr. McJekyll. Now, I'm going to show you that touchdown pass in our last appearance of Mr. Hyde-Thompson, sort of as an excuse, because I just want to show this awesome play by Banks one more time, but it shouldn't have been a contested catch. So MBT doesn't get enough air on this ball. Banks has a go route. He flies by Demario Houston. Bethel-Thompson has the arm strength too. It's not like he waited too long. He just didn't gauge this correctly. He could throw this out the back of the end zone if he wanted to. He's got a cannon. And there's a couple places you can put it. Ideally, you want to have it out in front of Banks. He's also got room to the sideline if he wants to fade him that way. The only thing you don't want to do is leave it short and inside, and that's exactly where he put it. Houston's able to recover. He makes a play on the ball, but fortunately for the Argos and Bethel-Thompson, Houston isn't able to maintain control through contact of the ground, and the ball ends up in the hands of Speedy B for the touchdown. So This isn't full Mr. Hyde-Thompson because it's the right read and the timing of the throw is good. He's just got to deliver a better ball. This should be an easy touchdown, not a touchdown that, that everybody remembers for the rest of their lives, which I'm sure we all will. So after that, like I said, it's smooth sailing. It's Dr. McJekyll. So man coverage, outside release, come back in the slot. It's a laser to Gittens Jr. It gives him time to make a move after the catch. This ends up being an 18-yard gain. Let's look at this one here. This is double cut against Coach Dinwiddie's favorite trips concept, smash. Immediate recognition from MBT. He fires one to Phillips, who just sits in the void, fights his way for a first down. This is a great ball, great quarterback play. Watch this one again. Look at this in real speed. Look how fast he gets rid of this. How about this throw? So Bombers are in some sort of weird man two with the backers playing way off. Nick Taylor's draped all over Banks. You can see Bethel-Thompson in the pocket. He's doing this like Iron Man style computation because there's no window. It's a tiny. You basically got to hit Banks right in the hands. And what a ball you get here. You can't defend this. This is one of those like Wild West films where the hero shoots the bad guy in the head over the shoulder of the hostage. This is that sort of accuracy. Everyone's just left standing there in awe, both at the courage and confidence of the gunslinger, McLeod Bethel-Thompson in this case. Now, okay, this film session isn't about RPOs, but I'm just going to show you one. He ran a few against the Bombers. Every single one was perfect. He either gave it to Harris correctly or pulled it out correctly and got the ball out, completed a pass. Here, it's Ambles who had some time and space to get yards after the catch. This might be my favorite throw of the day. Gittens Jr. has a post out. I love that route for him. McLeod off play action. He's going to one-step it, give that shoulder fake, get the DBs to bite on that post, and then he'll drop another step. He needs the depth because he can see the pocket collapsing. Here's what I love. He can see how open Gittens is going to be in 2 seconds, but Jeffcoat has his giant arms up there, so there's no throwing lane. So MBT kind of cranks back the trajectory a little bit and throws the ball further to the outside so that he can get it over Jeffcoat and still drop it in safely for Gittens Jr. That's why this one looks like a weird throw. It's because he had to alter the angle to get it up over the gigantic Jeffcoat. He wasn't going to let the penetration in the pocket ruin a great route from his receiver. He played so well for the final 3 quarters that Winnipeg's defensive line started getting frustrated, started taking shots. Just like we saw against Montreal, Bethel-Thompson is unfazed by any of this. He doesn't mind contact in the pocket. He just pops right up. It's on to the next play. There's nothing that makes a defensive line feel more helpless. And we're talking about the Bombers here, so this is a big deal. He completed 10 passes in a row at one point. He was pretty unstoppable in the second half. All right, let me show you the last 3 intangibles that sort of highlight my appreciation of the good doctor on this day. This is a bad exchange near the goal line. Ambles comes across too early, and the snap ends up hitting him in the arm. So Ambles and Bethel-Thompson both race after the fumble. Toronto's already down 14-0. MBT doesn't, at all costs, does not want to turn this ball over. But what he does here, and it's unfortunate because this doesn't actually impact the play at all because Ambles makes a clean recovery. But I want to show you where McLeod Bethel-Thompson's mind is at. So what's he doing right here? What decision did he just make? They're both pursuing the fumble, but he realizes right here that Ambles has a much better chance at getting there faster. And he probably yells something like a you or whatever it is, and now he peels off to block Rutledge because he knows if he can buy Ambles more time, there's a higher chance of him hopping on the football. And this, I love to see this from a quarterback. It's a smart football player making a team first decision. What other quarterback in the league is going to be like, you get the ball, I'm going to go throw my body in front of this runaway train, see if I can slow it down a little. This is like Ben Kenobi level stuff. This is a tough one to watch because an Argos touchdown here might have done it. So he throws it to Banks, and he fires it into Banks' body to protect him because he's sort of in a danger zone here. This is a play where you don't actually want to lead the receiver into contact. Banks doesn't secure it cleanly. Rose is able to punch it out, and the Argos get a really unlucky bounce. I don't love this play call, and I did love the play calling most of the night. That's not what I'm trying to highlight here, but this really should be a touchdown for Winnipeg. Nick Taylor gets the ball with just the quarterback to beat. And it's not like McLeod Bethel-Thompson is known as a runner, but you watch him angle this perfectly, like a linebacker who's been running pursuit drills his whole life. He stalks Taylor to the sideline, makes the tackle, and this saves a touchdown. And again, it's selfless. It's team first. It doesn't take a lot to figure out why his teammates want to fight for him. All right, last play. So what do you want from your quarterback in the final minute? The ability to put together a touchdown drive with the game on the line. Bethel-Thompson on that last drive goes 5 for 5, 61 yards for what should have been the game-tying touchdown. And this play in particular, watch the craftiness on this play. He's rolling to the outside, rolling right. He's calmly waiting. Cool as can be. Rutledge is trying to decide between, where do I go? Do I stay with Ambles? Do I commit to McLeod Bethel-Thompson? Rutledge commits. MBT draws him in. He just floats it out to Ambles in stride for the touchdown. For all the times he makes you want to hit your head against the wall, he will give you 3 reasons to stand up and cheer. Believe me, I get the frustration, especially because he's been in the league for a long time now, and some of the decisions he makes are simply unacceptable. He's the first one to tell you that. But he gives you so many things to be excited about. There's so much talent, so much physical ability, and competitive fire. And when he's on, he's on. Thanks so much for watching this week's film session. I hope you got something out of it. As always, if you've got any questions, please ask me. I'll be happy to get back to you. My name is Ben Grant. I'll see you next time.